Sucio Talk, we're back. Going crazy over here with my headphones. So here we are. We're in the studio. Super excited to be able to bring to you a new form of entertainment for the hospitality industry. Before that, I want to say, I've taken a hiatus from social media. I've taken a hiatus from just being social in general, and that's because I was working on this thing. The studio. I also felt for a while there that, and we're still going through it, some definite tragedies have happened over the last, few weeks, and there's a whole war going on, and I felt sort of troubled by the fact that, I just want to do this podcast, but is that really helping the world? Right? So I got really down in this deep hole where I was like, what do I do? Is this podcast even worth it? And it was that then and there that let me know that I was doing the right thing. Because all the times as a cook when I was like, yo, should I even be doing this? And the answer was yes. It pushed me through to the next level. So, the podcast was putting me on the spot, questioning me, and letting me know that it's a force to be reckoned with, and I have something here that is worth the time and effort. And if anything, it is to bring some realness, some honesty to the world of cooking and food and hospitality. Because there's a lot of bullshit going on right now. There's always been a lot of bullshit going on right now. A lot of abuse, we all know the issues. I'm not going to sit here and list them off. I'm going to let the podcast discuss the things organically. There's no way that I'm going to address all of the problems that we have in the hospitality industry, as well as all of the triumphs we have in the hospitality industry in one episode, in 5 minutes. There's no way. So the idea is that we open the platform up. There is going to be the solo intro to episodes, and there's going to be the guests, as always. We have, wonderful hospitality people that I would love to invite to the studio in Oakland. So here's a shout out to all hospitality people out there. If you want to be on a real motherfucking culinary podcast for the hospitality industry out there, if you want to speak your truth on the show, come at me, hit me up, suciotalk@gmail.com, and we can hook it up. You can sit here and talk about, the struggles and why it is that we work so hard to make the guest happy. At the end of the day, all of this is guest facing. We just want to make people happy. What are the struggles in that? What are the best ways to do it, the wrong ways to do it? How do we deal with all the waste that's going on? Deli containers. Are we going to continue to use the delis in the way that we have been using them, where they're just going in the fucking trash, man? What are you doing as a chef? What are you doing about that? What are we doing about all of the waste that we generate? Let's be real. Talk about photo shoots. I've been a part of a lot throughout my career, and I think that they're some of the most wasteful fucking things that happen in the restaurant. The food's not seasoned. I mean, half the time, so it's on you. Like the next photo shoot that you do, are you going to season the food so maybe your staff can eat it? Or are you going to take the approach of, the easy way out and just throw everything away, plate it up nicely, make it look nice for the camera, and then throw it away? And that's just one thing of many things that happens in our industry on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. But at the end of the day, we have to sell our product, right? So how do we sell our product in a new world without wasting the actual food that is the art that we're trying to portray, right? So, again, we can't solve all these issues, but I'm here on Sucio Talk, the podcast, right? It's not that I don't like the word podcast, but I don't want to, every time I talk about Sucio Talk, say Sucio Talk podcast, Sucio Talk. That's it. It's a talk show, meant to inspire, meant to make you think, meant to correct me, educate me, because at the end of the day, I'm always learning, and my opinions might be wrong on certain subjects. And sometimes I like to have a good time, and sometimes I might make a fool of myself, but that's okay because there's more serious things out there in the world. So this can be your escape. Um, Things for the future at Sucio Talk. We're looking at live shows, live broadcasts with a panel of chefs where you'll be able to call in and ask questions. You'll be able to be on YouTube, ask questions, and we will answer them live. That's gonna come up in a month or two. We got the recorded episodes, the interview episodes. I just did one with Jason McKinney last night. He was episode number 2 on the podcast. Maybe number 3, maybe number 4. I don't remember. Anyways, I did one with Chef Nico Peña, Chef Andres Flores of Snail Bar, Nico Peña's of Octavia, and Charlie Apple used to work with me at the restaurant at Meadowwood. Everybody knows Carlito Manzana. Say what up. So good things are happening on this show. We're talking about some issues that happen every day in the restaurant industry, and sort of trying to figure out a solution together by talking about these things. I also had Chef Mo Mufarej on. Chef Mo recorded the episode. I had a little bit of slip up with the video because at the end of the day, I'm a chef. This is all new to me, but I'm learning. I'm getting better. So her episode will be the last audio recording, and all content moving forward will be video. I will release then later a compilation video of Mo Mufarej's interview. She was sous chef at Del Posto and sous chef at Angler, and now she's venturing off to do her own project. So congratulations to her, Chef Mo Mufarej. Check her out. Recently did a catering gig with her. Super professional chef. Food was tasty as fuck, and it was nice for me to be able to get back in the fold, prepping some food, not out of necessity, not because I needed money, but because it's just a good opportunity to cook a little bit. And I've realized that I'm the kind of person that doesn't do shit for money. Okay, this can be detrimental sometimes, but I have figured out that doing things out of passion will then eventually land you some money, but that is not the goal. So what I've done is I've taken all the ads off Sucio Talk. Obviously, I can't control it on Spotify and YouTube. If you don't pay for it, you're gonna get some ads. But what are you gonna do? It's all good. So I would encourage you to subscribe to the page Sucio Talk. Follow me on Instagram at David Sucio, at David_Sucio, DavidSucio. Check that out. Sucio Talk Podcast is also on Instagram, sucio.talk.podcast. That's on Instagram. I'm also going to be ramping up the TikToks. What was happening before was I was happening to make video content to sell the audio content. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to have to make two, different things to sell one of the things. So I was like, why not, in this world that we're moving into video and shit like that, we need to make sure that we are keeping up with the times. Because at the end of the day, when YouTube came out all those years ago, I talked shit. I was like all the haters out here. Oh, what are you going to do? Make fucking movies of yourself? And now, what am I doing? I'm here with a podcast on YouTube. So don't hate on shit, because it is the biggest downfall that I have had in my life back when I was a hater. You just don't do shit because you're like, why would I do that? But nowadays, it's like the answer is yes. All right? To fucking everything, to life experience, to, doing the things that you got to do to achieve your goals in the most honest way possible. And that's what Sucio talks about. That is what it will always continue to be about, for you guys, to inspire you guys, to make you think differently, to raise awareness on issues that otherwise, wouldn't be highlighted. highlighting people that otherwise wouldn't be highlighted. I feel like a lot of stories in the culinary industry do not get told. I feel like there's a lot of attention going to the same chefs always, and this is a way to sort of break that up. And the way I look at it is, you look at my roster of Sucio Talk interviews that I've done. It's been some chefs that are 3 Michelin, other chefs, cooks, chefs, dishwashers, right? All these different levels, right? When you look at it, to be all one level. That's it. You were on Sucio Talk, you are the same as this person. And take away sort of the barriers that we put up sometimes in the kitchens and the classes and shit like that. We need to get back into that old family restaurant mentality, So I just want to say that I have been away for quite a while, but I'm back. I'm not going nowhere. The idea is to drop episodes. I want to drop them every Monday. So what's going to happen is, depending on how many episodes I record and produce, will be dropped on Monday. There will be no I found myself, saying I need to put it out at this time, and make it more structured. Like, if I do 3 shows, I want to be able to drop those 3 shows on Monday at midnight and then leave them there for the week. And then Monday at midnight on the next week, you get all the episodes that we recorded, whether they're panels, solos, or guest shows. There's going to be some panels that I hold here that I'm not even part of the crowd, son. So there's going to be a lot of real shit being talked about in this booth. And this booth actually comes from one of the first comedy clubs in San Francisco. Like, Lenny Bruce sat on this in this booth. So a lot of energy from this booth for sure. Found it online. Treasure Island, went out there, got it. Had to cut it to get it into the door, but we're here now, right? Got my Logic Thompson's beautiful artwork behind me, canvas. All right, I'll give you a little tour of the studio at some point. But right now we're here to talk about Sucio Talk and where we're going, okay? So I have been away for a while. There has been issues going on in the world, but at the end of the day, I want to say I had a lesson taught to me recently where somebody asked me what I thought of water, and essentially I just thought, oh, it's polluted. We don't have enough for people. I thought about the California fires, which always affect us every year, right? And then I thought to myself, I'm sorry. Then the person I was asking the question, he was a shaman. I was in Mexico on a retreat, and he says, the view that you have of water is the view that you have of life, and it truly made sense to me. Like, I was looking at it in the wrong perspective. And he pointed out that the job of a shaman is, even though the world is shit and the water's polluted and we don't have enough water for everybody, that the job of a shaman is to show the beauty of water, the crystal clarity of water, the life that is water, right? After all, we are mostly water. And that really resonated with me, and I think that's what I need to be thinking about when the world's fucking falling apart out there. Sucio Talk needs to be an anchor for the mentality of the hospitality worker, right? The people that are out there every day busting their ass 10 to 16 hours a day trying to get you a new experience, whether it's for your olfactory, whether it's for your family, making memories in your life. I know a lot of us have memories that we, think about, that we were at certain restaurants, certain places, whether it was the people that we were with, whether it was the food that we were with, all that, or the food that we were with, the food that we ate, right? It's interesting. So we need to keep moving forward, and that shit is hard to do sometimes, but fucking, we're running an uphill marathon, as Chef Costow used to say, and you need to tie your fucking shoes, all right? Make sure your shoes are tied. We're running together. We're all holding hands, and we're all in this together. And for a long time in our industry, it wasn't like that. It was a lot of cutthroat competition. But what's happening is the playing field has been leveled by the pandemic, and now we have more of a brotherhood. sisterhood. We're all inclusive, all together, right? And we need to be this way. We need to stop hating on chefs because their flavors maybe not up to par with our flavors. The days of having top chefs come to an event together and have the egos flexing where everybody gets fucking roasted all night because they're afraid to be embarrassed in front of the other chef. Like, all those fucking dynamics are over. All right, this needs to be. We need to stick together in order to fucking overcome the odds that is the world, right? Together as the hospitality industry, as the chefs, the keepers, the guardians, all the people involved. I'm talking everybody. We are the guardians of the next generation of what restaurants will be. And if we do not take care of it, then we will not have good fucking restaurants to go to. That's just simple as that. So, I was a chef. I was in a restaurant. I had to get out. Pandemic really took it out of me, and I was not in a good place, right? So it was just like time to go. And, I had spent 8 years with the company, so I'm like, yeah, it's perfect time to go. And I had this fucking wild, wild journey where I go to Palm Springs. I live in Wyoming. I take a road trip across the country. I drove 14,000 miles in 50 days, ate at 70 restaurants, and talked to 40 people, podcasting. And I did it all to know inside me that I was actually chasing this dream, right? And it's not necessarily to just have a podcast. The podcast is a means to an end. It's a means to being able to fund my own restaurant without having to gather investors. It's a way to do things the way I want to fucking do them and not have to listen to anybody else tell me what I got to do and embarrass myself on the way there and be real and honest on the way there and not give a fuck what anybody thinks, because everybody's got something to say. Everybody's got their own opinion of what should be and what shouldn't be and what you should do to be successful. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, there's a lot of books out there and you can read all of those books, but it's time to write our own fucking book. You understand? So that's what Sucio Talk is doing. We're writing our own book, okay? And God, I feel good right now. I feel good about that. That was a good one. Anybody else feel inspired? Can I get an amen? So, I say that story to say about the shaman is like, I want to be the shaman of the hospitality industry. I want to shed positivity on negative situations. I want to talk through these things and find solutions rather than getting upset with each other and then not talking through things and then causing more divisiveness within our world. You know what I mean? At first I thought, why build a legacy if the world is to end? But even if the world ends, our energy is still here, right? So I'll be damned if I leave negative energy in this world for the next world to have to deal with. And all the things that we're suffering today might happen fucking again. So Andres Flores put it great the other day. He said, he was able to afford himself 3 days off. And when culinary professionals look at that and they say, oh, you got 3 days off, like, what are you, a bum? In that sense of like failure if you're not working fucking 16 hours a day, like, fuck that shit, man. Like, you don't have to work smarter, not harder, right? Has always been a thing. So those days are over where it's like this, oh, I worked 16 hours. But it's like, how many of those hours did you actually work in at 100%, right? Or did you do, 4 hours at 100%, the next 4 hours at 80, and then you finished off the last fucking 8 at 65, And that's like, you need to be well rested. You need to fucking try to sleep. Like, that's something that I have a lot of difficulty with. But I'm getting there, because I want to be able to communicate effectively to everyone out there about what the hospitality industry is about what we need to do to change to be more positive going forward, and really how we discipline in this new world, you know? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I went to a restaurant, I went to go work at places to get yelled at because I know that I needed that. That's how I learn. I learn aggressively. Like I want to get a personal trainer right now, and when I'm gonna have this meeting, I'm gonna tell that person and be like, yo, don't take it easy on me. Don't be like, oh yeah, one more, buddy. I need you to be like, yo, you're a piece of shit. Get the fuck up and do something about it. Cause that's the only way that I operate. That's not necessarily the most correct way, but that's just the way that I am. And learning to accept myself and being able to work within those parameters has helped me get to where I am today. Has helped me build this fucking studio and has helped me learn all the things I needed to learn to get all this shit together, right? So fucking state of the Sucio address. Here we go. So, you know, we're forging through with positive energy. This is going to be the best fucking culinary podcast that ever existed. Best hospitality podcast that ever existed. And if you have a hospitality podcast out there, I'm very sorry. But that's just the way it's going to be. Okay? You either join me. No, it's all good. It's not like that. But I hope to open the doors and be part of those shows, and you guys can come here and be part of the family here at Sucio Talk. You know what I mean? So that's the next thing. I need fucking video editors. I need merchandise, son. This is about to become a movement, a thing, right? So I need to be ready for that. And, you know, just be myself through the whole process. Because there's a lot of times in this world where I wasn't myself. And those were very hard times. And you had to, you know, oh, hey, tell that guy over there to quiet down. He's too loud. He's too obnoxious. He's too crass. And the way that I see it is I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about the rules. About, oh, you swear too much. It's called fucking Sucio Talk. What do you want from me, man? I labeled it accordingly. So if you're coming here for some you know, some bullshit, fluffy nonsense, it's not going to be that. And, you know, we're going to talk some real shit here, and sometimes it's going to get tense. And sometimes I'm going to say the wrong shit. But it's up to you to fucking help me see the other side, educate me, teach me perspective. That's what we're all here to do in this world, is teach each other perspective. The more perspectives you have, the better you're off, man. It's just like a toolbox, you know what I mean? To be able to deal with all the things that you're going through, you know? So, again, subscribe, Sucio Talk on YouTube, suciotalk@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions, write in your crazy-ass chef stories to suciotalk@gmail.com, and I'll read them off on the podcast, man, because I want to hear what's going on out there in the culinary field, you know, those crazy events that you guys are doing, whatever it is, all right? So I will say I've had some great meals. I went to New York. I talked about this on the last audio podcast. I went to Lilia. Lilia was fuego. And then I went to Via Carota in Manhattan, and shit was delicious. New York, man. I love New York. Would I live there? No, but I love to visit. I love to, you know, and I need to go back. I need to start traveling again. But now that I have this, you know, this studio, I definitely need to stay a little bit more stationary than I was, just because I want to be able to get full use out of this thing. I want to be able to do this thing as my primary, you know, job, activity, whatever you want to call it. So I can focus all my efforts on bringing honest and real conversations, bringing stories that would otherwise be left untold out into the world, you know. A couple shout outs. I want to shout out Q Harrison Terry. He just authored the Metaverse Handbook. He also authored the NFT handbook. So shout out to Q Harrison Terry. He's been on the show before. He's definitely an alien in a human body. The motherfucker lives in the future. I'm telling you. So shout out to Q Harrison Terry, making a lot of us people out here that are uneducated in that space being able to survive within conversations, right? And you can look at crypto any way you want to. You can look at all this new shit that's happening any way you want to, NFTs, whatever. This is right where we were when YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that shit came out, where we didn't believe in this shit, right? And then 20 years from now, you're asked out because you didn't participate because you thought, oh, this ain't gonna last. This doesn't matter anymore. The blockchain is a real fucking thing. It's gonna happen. The future is here. Okay? The advancements going on a day-to-day basis is insane. So we need to be aware that this shit is gonna go down. We're gonna have to fucking be ready. And, fuck, what can I say, man? Just get educated out there. So you can do that through the Metaverse Handbook and through the NFT Handbook, both written by Q Harrison Terry, along with Paris Hilton, I think, wrote the Metaverse Handbook with him, which is kind of crazy. But, all these people that are in the limelight and then, phase out, they're still in the background, pulling strings, trying to make money. What are you doing today? You know what I mean? In my notes, I had cheese vinaigrettes written down. Cheese vinaigrettes. I just like sauteing it, drawing the fat out, and then just, putting a little bit of acid in there and keeping it warm cheese vinaigrette. I think you could like hache a cheese that would purge its oil when you heated it up instead of melting. Talk some dumb shit. Anyways, so I will say thank you for being here. Thank you for constantly supporting Sucio Talk. We will be back. I will plan accordingly and get you guys some sort of schedule. But I will say that Monday at midnight seemed to be the time. It just feels right. Because after all, I want to be able to do live shows. I have this idea for a show after service where you guys can come home after the restaurant, flip it on. Your favorite chefs from here, traveling to do events that come here or that are here in the Bay, want to come hang out after service, talk a little shit, talk about ingredients, talk about farmers markets, and have a great time. So once again, Sucio Talk signing off. This is going to be how it is from now on. I hope you guys are well out there. And once again, if you got anything to say to me, suciotalk@gmail.com. Other than that, peace out, B. Producing my own show. There we go.
Oh. Hola, la, le, le. Camina, mira, mira.